Welcome to another episode of Raw Truth. As always, I'm your host, BX Bad Boy, and today we're going to talk about free falling into chaos, or free falling chaos. Stay tuned. As I stated, it's about free falling into chaos. Everybody is so surprised that there's one side that refuses to concede to power. Gee, I wonder, what sense does that make? Not for nothing. Yeah, Hillary did concede a day or so after Trump won, but she didn't want to. As far as she saw it, and a lot of people did, but as far as she saw it, he cheated. So it's not like it's only a Republican thing. All losers think the winner cheated, especially when they don't have a moral code of their own. They have no honor. Hillary had some kind of honor. She wasn't all that bright, but she had some kind of honor. She did concede. Whether she wanted to or not is irrelevant. You don't have to believe something's true for it to be true. See, people are so concerned about their belief versus fact. Listen, I get into arguments all the time about the definition of words, like the actual definition of the word, versus what someone feels it should mean. Listen, that's not how reality works. Things have meanings. You cannot say, because I believe car means boat, it's a freaking boat. Not how this works. So I'm constantly getting into arguments versus what the word actually means and what people think and feel. It's not about feeling, okay? You cannot change what something inherently is just because you feel otherwise. That's chaos. Because all I gotta do is feel you cheated, even if I'm not even playing the game. And that's all I gotta go on, and that's what everyone's supposed to go on, what they feel. That's utter chaos. That's why there's a established set of rules, an established set of words, laws, regulations. So everyone essentially agreed to these regulations that showed up for it. If you don't show up for a vote, you can't bitch you didn't vote. That was your fault. But essentially society agreed to these things in a whole, because the word car does translate into other languages, and in those other languages, guess what their word means too? Car. Bada bing. So it's not just a United States collective feeling that car is a car, not a boat. All around the world, everybody in society believes a car is a car. Okay? So you can't just turn around and go, I don't feel it's a car, I feel it's a boat. You can't do that. No, it doesn't work that way. But people want to make the words suit them because they're tired of losing, or they don't want to lose, because their pride is bigger than the reality. That's a sick and twisted world. Now, if somebody was sitting in front of me telling me they believe everything I do, a big part of me is like, you know what? I trust this guy. And don't get me wrong, in my youth it has happened where someone promised me or told me what I wanted to hear, and it turned out that echo is all I got left. I joined a few organizations that promised me family, a brotherhood, a rite of passage, so to speak. And at the end of the day, I was nothing but a foot soldier. And that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to defend right from wrong, just and unjust. not to be a foot soldier. And what I mean by that is fighting someone else's cause just because. Now, I know infantry is considered a foot soldier, but they're not an automaton where they kill children or kill dogs, or they have rules that they have to abide by when it comes to their moral code as infantry and as military men. Okay? So I don't consider those foot soldiers. I'm sure the definition is about the same, but there's so much more to them than being a soldier that walks on their feet. That doesn't suit them. That doesn't do them justice. So I refuse to call them foot soldiers. I call them infantry because that's the part they are, not what they are as a person. Anyway, so I didn't sign up to be a foot soldier. I signed up like anyone else would with a bike club or a car club. Unfortunately, I was severely let down. And I've had to recover from it for quite some time because they promised me what I was looking for. Anyway, so they let me down, and I followed them because they basically claimed the same belief as I did. But when that belief wasn't founded or met, I was out. But now Donald Trump comes along and he's saying everything that a very large amount of Republicans want to hear. Racist, xenophobic, and hate. Owning the libs, so to speak. That's what these people want in their leader. To be violent, to be nasty, to be hateful. Because all he did was talk shit about anybody brown or anyone who didn't agree with him. So you got picked on as a white guy or white girl only if you disagreed with him and his policies and his way of doing things. But if you agree with him or not, and you were brown, he treated you like a lower form of intelligence. And it's funny. If the history is right, and I gotta look it up, Lincoln, who they keep putting on a super duper pedestal, who freed the slaves and all that horse pucky, yeah, he freed them, but he didn't think they were equal citizens to white people. According to this documentary on the truth of Lincoln, he thought they were still second-class citizens, but nobody deserves, even second-class citizens, no one deserved to be enslaved against their will. But he didn't think they had a right to vote. He didn't think they had a right to take office. I don't think he even said they deserved a right to own property. They were like meant to rent. Similar to what's going on now is exactly what Lincoln believed. That if you are a minority, you belong in apartments, not in your own house, your own car. You belong in the poor areas. And they're only poor because they're made that way. But we're not going to get into that, of course. So this ideology of following someone else's belief just because it mirrors yours sounds like a cult to me. It's a cult addictive personality. Either way, it's cult personality. You'll follow anyone who suits you. And just for the record, that's exactly why the guy's in my background. Because that's what he is. He's a cult leader. He is the leader of the Jokers. His boys, the guys you see fight in the comic books and in the series and animated movies, they're called the Jokers. because they follow him. The gentleman in the background is their leader, their savior, their all to be all. They could have joined any other gang, any other crew. They chose the Joker. They chose him. Just like these jackasses that choose Donald Trump. They chose him because he fits them. It's that simple. Because here's the thing. There's racists. You can't act like there aren't. And there's a lot of them. At least half of the 74 million that voted for him. I don't care what anyone says. I believe that so much. It's not even funny. Most of them come from a weird place. The South and Midwest. Why is that? Oh yeah, that's right. Those are the same people that started a civil war over racism. And aren't they all the same jackasses that are talking right now about a civil war coming? Because all this cheating they can't prove exists. Listen, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not an independent. I'm truth, and that's it. Like the name of the game, the raw truth. I don't care if it hurts, as long as it's the truth. And the truth is, I don't hear Democrats talking about attacks and blood and bullets and shooting people, other Americans especially. But all I'm hearing is Republicans saying that. Stock up on ammo, get your guns ready, civil war's coming. I don't hear Democrats saying that shit, at least not on TV and not in freaking broad daylight. I'm sure there are some Democrats that might be violent too, but that's because they see a civil war coming, because the Republicans want one, because that's all they're talking about. Even the FBI has a warning out, a potential civil war or attacks taking place in the very near future. And the people they have on that list of potential attackers aren't Democrats. They're Republicans, white nationalists, and racist piece of shits. You know, people believe in white power. You're a dick. Anyone who believes in white power doesn't know what power is. Unfortunately, if you gotta join a crew to have power, guess what? You don't have any power. They are your power, which means you're weak. Now, you want to join a group, a club, people who share the same ideas? That's not the same thing. My mother is a born-again Christian, and she does not believe she needs the church to be who she is. She doesn't believe if her church followers aren't following her, she must be wrong. If my mother believes something, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter what they think. Now, she'll ask their opinion because, you know, it's always good to get other people's opinion to see if maybe you are full of it. But she doesn't need them. She just needs to believe what she's doing is right and that God agrees. That's it. Republicans need to swap spit with each other because that's all that matters to them, is that they all feel the same and do the same and get violent. They need each other. That's codependent. They got medication for that. You know, ED medication. Because apparently you can't get it up if you aren't surrounded by a bunch of men that play with their swords too. I've got skin in this game. My son. And God forbid one you fucking douchebags get him hurt. Because he doesn't believe what you assholes believe. He believes in right or wrong, not I am all that all. And you know what? Let something happen to him. You're going to need your friends. Trust in that one. So you better make some now or stay the fuck away from my family. With just stupid nonsense. Now, I'm not a Biden supporter. Not at all. I'm not a Trump supporter. But I'm not a Biden hater either. But I do hate the piss out of Donald Trump. Because he only cares about one people. That's wrong. Biden may not be the greatest president that ever lived. He may not be trying all that hard. But you can't sit here and say he's singling out any race because of their race. He's singling out the racists because they're racist. He don't care what color they are. He cares that they're racist and they're attacking people and causing undue damage to people. My son's afraid to go outside for multiple reasons. One, majority is COVID, because the derelict Republican Party think that a mask is against their Constitution. You mean our Constitution, don't you dickheads? Is a seatbelt against the Constitution? Is a physical against the Constitution? Other vaccines against the Constitution? Because you can't send your kid to school without getting them vaccinated. So that don't make no sense that you're against this vaccine, but not those vaccines. And you can't say you're against those vaccines because they still exist, and you have to get them. So you get them. So they can mandate a vaccine because they already do it. So if it was unconstitutional, how come they're already doing it, dumbasses? This is my point. They just want the drama. They don't want truth. They don't want justice. They want drama. Because their truth, their justice is a lie. A bold-faced lie. Because vaccination takes place as a mandatory in school. Fucking idiots. So, yeah, dumbasses. You wear your seatbelt, don't you? Why not? Why don't you take it off? Bet you don't. Because you don't want that ticket. Because you know you could lose your license over it. But I thought these things are unconstitutional. Because a seatbelt doesn't save other drivers. You do know that, right? It only saves you in an accident. So they're forcing you to save your own life. Isn't that against the Constitution, dickheads? Oh, that's right, it's not. It's called public safety, fool. Learn something. Grow a pair of balls. Get vaccinated. Wear masks. Or stay the fuck away from me. Because I promise you, you're going to be wearing something. Whether you're conscious or not, it's another story. Whether you're alive or not, it's another story. Because I will protect my son and my family. I'm vaccinated, my son's vaccinated. I still wear my mask because it's smart. There's not enough vaccinated people not to wear one. Stay safe. You heard?